beautiful people. We're doing an SRT group clearing on viruses. It's something that was requested a while back. And the thing about viruses normally when I'm clearing with SRT is that because it's a very individual thing, we download the vibration, we find out how many strains of virus. If you have the charts, what we'd normally do is we'd identify, are there any viruses running? Yeah. We'd also we'd identify is it how much is it on the physical body, is it on any of the other bodies, how many strains of virus. Then we'd set up a healing committee to do downloads as to for how many days, how many times a day, how many minutes for each download. And I also download the appropriate colours that the body wants as well. And then I also find out what's attracted the virus in. Viruses tend to be, I can't remember what it is in theta healing. It's been a while since I did that, but I know generally speaking viruses about resentment, I think usually. I thought fungus was in theta healing, but anyway, there's some say resentment, some say something else, self-worth, I think. But it doesn't really matter. What matters is that we get stuck in and clear the belief systems that are attracting that to you. In biomagnetism, we are taught, because I studied that as well, that we're taught that all the viruses are in our body anyway, which is true. I mean, if you have a bioresonance machine, I have a couple, you can see that every single virus, they say that the universe is in us and we are in the universe. We have every single virus in us, in our makeup already. We are stardust, and it's just when it gets out of balance, and it gets out of balance because of triggers that happen to us, whether we're unhappy, whether we've got a program or a belief system coming out where the mind is recognizing an old pattern. For some reason the vibrations shift, so we get out of balance, and as a result of that, the virus that's held within the body gets out of balance. That is one perspective, one theory on it. If you don't agree with that, that's absolutely fine. There are different interpretations, and some people don't believe in viruses at all, and that's absolutely fine too. I'm open, to be honest. I'm open to different theories, different perspectives, and we have to keep coming back to remembering there is no separation from anything, so that we're not being attacked from something outside of ourselves. That's the thing I think to hold in mind, which changes your perspective on everything, because it's very easy for the ego in us to want to start blaming. I've been attacked by an entity, or this has happened, or that's happened, but in reality there is no separation from anything. So we have to first of all go within and say, what is out of balance with me within? Because whatever is out of balance within is sending out a certain frequency that is attracting that experience to us externally, to mirror back. That's the way the law of cause and effect, and that law of correspondence, law of attraction, all of that. So we have to first of all look within and see what's out of balance, what's been triggered within us. What have my thought processes been recently? What have I been feeling like recently for me to have whatever this is that I'm experiencing right now? So but we're conditioned to believe that we go out and we catch a cold and we catch this and we catch that, and it gets reinforced by that conventional medicine, and it's very difficult to come out of that belief system into one where we have a completely different perspective of, I've got a stinking cold. Why have I got a stinking cold? Well, in Chinese medicine, it's a way of cleansing the body. And I mentioned that to somebody on Nextdoor app recently, and I got hounded down quite rapidly by a load of people who said, don't be ridiculous, it's a virus. And but it explains why they've never been able to cure the common cold, doesn't it? So like all these things, let's get back to basics and detox the body. The lymphatic system being the sewer, the blood being the kitchen, as Dr. Robert Morse would put it, and look at people that are advocating good old-fashioned, detoxing the body is supporting the body, it's allowing the body. The body's an incredible mechanism, biological organism that supports us and looks after us and enables us to have this experience here on the earth. And we have to give it the right environment, epigenetics, for it to thrive in. And if we're cramming all the wrong food and alcohol and everything else into it, then we're not creating the right environment. Similarly, if we're holding on to anger, bitterness, regrets, various belief systems, fears, we're also not creating the right environment for it to thrive on, because the body and the mind, work together. So at the end of the day, keep it simple and get back to basics of putting the right nutrition, the right thought processes, the right creating the right environment inside the body and the mind, and getting rid of, detoxing all the things that are not serving us, the dense energy. I'm sure that all makes sense. I hope it does. So we're actually going to do a clearing on, as I say, on viruses. So make sure you're 100% open to receiving and the benefits of this. And let's just see what comes up. Set your intention to receive it for the highest good. So although we're clearing viruses, what we're really clearing are the belief systems behind it. We're really clearing the unworthiness, the resentment, the anger, the imbalances, the experiences that we're still holding on to, that are creating the environment for viruses to become out of balance. Ready? Let's do this. Right, so doing a clearing on viruses after that little speech is running at 0 positive, 100 negative, so there's definitely stuff to clear there. And in terms of consciousness, is it incarnational level or spirit status? It's incarnational level. So let's do a clearing. So let's get your high self teams, our high self teams, to do a clearing. My God team. Tend to work with God team these days. I work with the Holy Spirit team for a while, and then every now and then it goes back to the high self team. So but we're working anyway. Your teams, the high self teams, are working to clear anything that needs to be clearing, to bring it up to 100 positive, down to 0 negative, and all the way up to radiant love, new paradigm level of consciousness for your highest good. If you're someone in human design that has an open spleen area, and you'll know what I mean if you've done human design, then you're more prone to those kind of imbalances that would affect your health. There, I'm someone that has that. A lot of health challenges in my life. Thankfully, I've taken the positive from them. I've overcome them, but I've also taken the positive from them to help other people. So it feeds into my work in serving you. I have a lot of empathy rather than sympathy. I have a lot of understanding of what these things feel like, and different approaches. So all my other centres are closed in human design, but that one's been my greatest challenge, the spleen. The spleen centre in human design. Right, clearing away. So let's see where we're going first. Let's see what comes up. Be very interesting. Chart 5, which is blocks and interference, negative motivations. So looking on the outside, we are codependency is coming up. Okay, so let's just clear all codependency or all levels of consciousness on chart 3 as a negative motivation from you. Codependency is attachment there. It's amazing how much codependency is running in the world. today. Codependency and appeasement, lots of that, all comes from fear. Okay. (6B), which is blocks to positive expression. So blocks to vitality, that makes sense. Blocks to gentleness, yeah. Blocks to endurance, that all makes sense, doesn't it? So let's clear those away. Chart 7. We are downloading a book to you. So we're downloading the energy of a book, Your Right to Know. And I think the author was Sri Darwin Gross. I'm not sure, I can't read my writing properly, but Your Right to Know, it's the energy of that book. It's being downloaded into each and every one of you. We're just asking your high self teams to set up a healing committee for each and every one of you with the angels of light and the high self to just download that knowledge into your energetic system for your highest good at all levels of consciousness. Okay. I think that's the first with the group clearings, that one. Chart 10A is miscellaneous blocks, and this is at God level of consciousness. What have we got? Clearing the cellular memory. Anything else on the inside, on the outside? So let's clear the cellular memory there, please, for each and every one of you. We're on 10B now, which is programs created by spirit, and it's the first line of programming, so it's the most significant. And we're clearing the embryo. Let's clear the embryo away at this level. So an embryo is an idea holding a potential. So clearing all depths, steps, levels, range, limitations, everything, everywhere connected to that. Anything else in this chart? Doesn't seem like it. Where next? Chart 16, which is the fall of consciousness. We're clearing belief systems of falling into darkness, blocks to mental expression, rebellion to one. So just clear those blocks away for your highest good. Love a bit of rebellion myself. Rebellion to one was set up as a potential for souls to incarnate. So when the soul ate of the forbidden tree, it was termed rebellion, going back to that Eden, Garden of Eden, and the metaphorical explanation there in the book of Genesis. Chart 21, final items, this one universe. "13 bodies and 36 minds." So let's clear that. We believe there's 22 bodies as a minimum now, and don't know if there's an expansion of minds, but the spirit, the teams, your high self team will know what to clear there with that. Spirit's constantly expanding, it's constantly learning from our experiences, and as consciousness is evolving. So everything is evolving, and there's, more learning, more bodies established, more dimensions established, and so on and so on. There's no limitation, there's only infinite potential. Okay. And chart 26, which is freedom is free. All is perspective or focus point of view. So let's just clear that. Yeah, so again, it's really what I was saying right at the beginning. It says it is a focus or a point of view. One person may observe something and say it is bad, another may see it as good. We each see things from our individual perspective, and that's according to our experiences, according to our level of consciousness, according to our understanding, and so many influences. So and it's just accepting that. There's not one of us that has the answer to everything. This is why it's so important not to judge, because we all are at different processes, different levels of understanding, different levels of consciousness. And it's not that, well, I'm at a higher level, therefore I know more, or anything like that at all. It's just, there's just different levels of understanding and awareness for each and every one of us. This is why it's important to always keep an open mind, not be black and white. Black and white represents duality. It misses all the grey area in between, connecting that same thought process. So it's important not to be, oh, that's bad, that's good, that's terrible, that's acceptable. It's more important that we keep an open mind to other points of view, other perspectives. Consider them, question them, sit with them, meditate on them. Let them sit within, see how it feels. I know there are things I learned many years ago, and I thought, I can't accept that. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't agree with that at the time. And then I went back to various books, maybe 5 years later, and I could understand then, but I could not for the life of me understand them at the time, or make sense of them, or even agree with them. So we're always evolving, and it's best not to dismiss anything that comes into your consciousness, is relevant to you in some way. Whatever it is, any conversation, anything you hear on the TV even, is a mirror of some kind. And an opportunity, and its potential. The intention is growth. These are learning blocks at spirit level. We have 2 levels of learning, spiritual and physical, so we've got learning blocks there as well. So let's just clear those away at all levels of consciousness on chart 3 for your highest good. Okay, and I'm now pulled back to chart 5, which is blocks and interference again and negative motivations. I've got bitterness there. So that kind of ties in with that resentment, doesn't it? Let's just clear all bitterness at all levels of consciousness on chart 3 from each and every person, please, that may be carrying that bitterness. Anything else before Mop Up? No, so let's go to Mop Up, where the bulk of the clearing takes place by your teams on the other side of life using their 200 plus charts. And they know exactly what needs to be cleared that we don't need to be aware of. And normally I'd read this long list of instructions to them. In individual clearing, and individual clearings I go through in more depth, ask more questions, go through the energy bodies, do a lot more checks. When I first started doing SRT clearings, each clearing would be like, well, much shorter, much shorter than it is now, and they're quite thorough now, my clearings, so very thorough actually, which is why they're priced the way they are, because it isn't just a 20-minute, 30-minute clearing with me. It's a lot more in depth than that. All clearings are done remotely, and then the details are sent to you afterwards. Right, still clearing a lot away under viruses. But again, it feels much lighter. So, are we done? Yeah. Any other business? Doesn't look like it. Soul happy, high self teams happy. Okay, so where are we now? 100 positive, 0 negative. And again, this one's floating. This feels so much lighter. Wonderful. And we're at radiant love, new paradigm level as a minimum again. Another one done. Hope you enjoyed that and you felt the benefits of that. And I will see you on the next video. Drink lots of water, allow 3 clear days for anything to fall away and to fully integrate with the physical. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Any questions, drop them down below, and thanks for joining me. Bye.